Thank you, InventoryLab. 10 years, that's a fantastic uh, goal to reach for everybody. 10 years in business. That's fantastic. And by the way, this month is Accrume's 4-year anniversary. And I'm proud to say in 4 years, we are the number one financing alternative on Seller Central. We are number one rated of all the capital providers out there. It's pretty cool. We love that. And our very first client 4 years ago, I remember, staying up the night before and creating the contracts. And, we were putting this all together and using our own money and getting it off the ground. And that client is still with us to today, still with us. The interesting thing is, I'll tell you a little bit later about them, but fantastic people and amazing. So let's dig right in. I'm one of these people that likes to have fun. I hope you do too, but we're also going to learn a lot. I'm going to show you some things about finance that I can guarantee you just about nobody's ever thought of. And I'm going to show you some interesting ways of doing things differently, different from thousands of years. Why should they always be done the same way? Let's figure out a better way. So here we go. Let's get started. All right. So I put this slide together many years ago. And it's something I've always referred back to and I've shared with many people. And by the way, if there's anything I present and you want a copy of the presentation or this slide or whatever, just let me know. You'll get my contact information at the end. Very easy. But if you think about this is where we all are. We're all in our comfort zone, wherever that may be. That's our little, where we're comfortable, we're happy. Our businesses are growing, nice and easy, or life is just good. We have lots of time to just relax. Everything is very nice. It's very comfortable. But then we look over the fence and we see success, and we want more of that success. My wife and I are boaters. We have a nice, good sized boat. And, it's not a year goes by that my wife doesn't mention something about, wow, that boat over there would be really nice. Wow, look at that boat. Yeah, that's right. That's more success. That's growing into it. And what keeps you from success? It's this obstacle in the middle. And it's fear, typically, is what the problem is. It's like, wow, do I start a new business? And, what if I fail? What if this happens? What if that happens? There's a lot of what ifs. And the whole idea to get out of your comfort zone and to get into greater success is to climb over that wall of fear, to just take that leap. And today we're going to be talking a lot about financing your Amazon business. And that creates fear, because when you think about it, a lot of people that have never done it before, it's like, well, I've always heard loans are bad. I've always, felt like I should be able to do it on my own. Why should I need anybody else? Well, you have to overcome those fears if you really want to grow your business. And I'm going to show you how to do it in a way that's really fearless, in a way that you can't lose. How about that? That's an amazing opportunity. All right, let's keep moving. So what are the odds? What are the odds? My Brooklyn accent comes out every once in a while. So think about it. When I was young, we used to hitchhike all the time. I live in New York on Long Island. I would hitchhike to Ohio. I would hitchhike from Ohio back to Long Island, up to New Hampshire, back from New Hampshire to the beach, home from the beach. When I was driving, we would pick people up all the time. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. And, this one hitchhiker gets picked up. And after about 3 or 4 minutes sitting in the car and not a word spoken, he says to the driver, he goes, I appreciate you picking me up, but, aren't you a little concerned that I might be a mass murderer? And the driver laughs and he goes, what are the odds of 2 mass murderers being in the same car at the same time? Not too good, right? Anyway, so I hope you laugh. I hope you get the idea here. There's going to be some sprinkling of some little jokes every once in a while. It's the way I live my life. I have some fun. All right. So this is a little bit on my background. If you want to reach out to me on LinkedIn, I'm one of those people that actually responds. So feel free. It's under my full name, Donald Henig. And in my career, I've been basically an entrepreneur. I've started a financial planning company, built it very large, a mortgage company, built it very large, real estate, publishing, entertainment, all different industries. And just because I get interested in an industry and I start doing a little research, I just can't seem to help myself. I start a business. In the mortgage industry, I've financed hundreds of billions of dollars. Think of that, hundreds of billions. That's a big number. I've earned, as a result of that, hundreds of millions of dollars in profit. When I started the entertainment company, myself and my partner, we created and produced 8 feature-length films with some of the biggest name stars like Tom Cruise and Natalie Portman and Mark Ruffalo and Rainn Wilson and on and on and on. It was a lot of fun. We also created and produced the Broadway show Rock of Ages, which was very exciting. And when we closed Rock of Ages, we ended up as the 30th longest running play of all time. It's pretty cool. Never did it before. I decided to buy and sell some houses. I bought and sold over 300 houses in 18 months, every one of them for a profit. And I stopped just because I didn't enjoy it. So I stopped and I moved on. And I took another break. And what I've done in my career is I've taken 3 breaks. The first 2 were for a year each. And at the end of each one of those, I came out of that 1 year, sabbatical, if you will. It wasn't planned. I sold a business, and then what are you going to do? I don't know. Start looking at other things and, learning stuff. And I end up started a new business each time. This last time, I was in my mid to upper 50s, and I was out for 5 years. And my wife started calling me retired. And I started, if you fill out an application for something and it says, what do you do? I put down retired, that's what I am now. And then a friend of mine from many years ago taught me about Amazon and Amazon sellers. And I got intrigued because I love helping people grow businesses. And that night, I'm going to tell you something that, people don't realize. When you're young, you have these big dreams, right? You're going to be the superstar, whatever it is. You're going to build this big business. You're going to do, you're going to be the hero in your own story. But as you get older, those dreams don't really happen anymore. They start to fade away. Well, I went to bed that night after learning about Amazon, and I had a dream, and I was picturing myself in front of thousands of sellers. And I don't know what I was saying, but I was helping them grow their businesses. And that's what I love to do. So I knew right then and there, this was going to be something that it was a calling. I had to go and do it. So how do you do that? I looked at the industry. So I looked at finance because I had mainly a finance background, same with my partner. And we came up with some solutions that were never done before. We actually sat there having lunch and said, let's put ourselves on the side of the table that the seller will be on. And let's do this so it's fair and right for the seller. Then let's figure out how to make money. Very unique, but that's the way I've built everything I've ever done in positive ways. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself that I don't normally talk about, but I grew up very middle class in Brooklyn and then Long Island. And when I say middle class, at the time, it was lower middle class, to say the least. I'm going to give you a little bit more on that. So our house in Brooklyn, we lived in a house, not an apartment. It was a bungalow. It was literally a summer bungalow that was converted. They added heat to it. And it was about 800 square feet. All right. With the basement. The basement was probably about 500 square feet because, there was a good portion of it had a coal coal burner in it, a boiler, whatever. And so there were 6 of us and a dog. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, plus the basement. And in the basement, myself and my 3 older sisters, each of our beds were in one corner of the basement. And there were a couple of dressers down there that we shared. And that's the way we lived. And we felt like kings and queens. It was the best. And then we moved to Long Island, and we were surrounded by trees and lakes and really a different world, taking your bicycles out all day. And it was beautiful. My parents, gave us that. My father worked for the government. He was in the Department of Defense and the Department of Intelligence. And he believed firmly in the security of the civil service jobs. And that's what he wanted me and my sisters to do. It's just not the direction I wanted to go, even at a very, very, very young age. It's just not what sparked my interest. But my parents taught me an amazing work ethic. And those of you that have children or at one day will have children, here's something that my parents did that I think everybody will enjoy. Instead of asking for money, I wasn't allowed to ask for money. What my mother did was she created a list of all the different things around the house that could be done. Paint the garage, and that was $3, whatever it was, and do the mow the lawn. Maybe that was $1. I don't know what the numbers were, but the biggest project was cleaning the gutters on this house, and they had never been cleaned before, and that was $5. Well, I like to go for the big numbers. So, you think about it back then, $5, I could have bought a couple of albums, maybe 3 albums at a record store. All right. Just to go back a ways. Well, I spent the day cleaning the gutters on an old wooden ladder that, just leaned against the house. I'm on the top rung, reaching over my head with all this muck all around the house. It was a full day job. Well, my mother comes home. She walks around the house with me to make sure it was done right. And then she notices in the back, up on the top, there was a section that wasn't done. I said, well, we don't have a ladder to reach that. My parents had dormered their house so that my sisters and I each had our own room, which was really special. Well, I didn't finish the job. I couldn't reach that dormer part. And so I didn't get paid. You don't get paid until you finish the job. And when I look back, I thought, yeah, I could have climbed out the window and, got on my belly and reached over and done it, which I didn't want to do. But I could have gone to our neighbors, and I'm sure they had an extension ladder. I'm sure I could have borrowed one for half a day or a day and gotten that piece done. So it's just interesting how you look at things and the work ethic that my parents gave me. We also had a lot of love and fun. Every night at dinner ended with songs. It's just the way everybody sang. And at 11, I was a newspaper boy, and there was a contest to see who could sell the most newspapers on Long Island. Long Island has millions of people. This is not a small area. Well, I like to win. I went out, I created my own script to sell, and I went door to door, and I was the #1 salesperson for the Long Island Press in New York. Pretty exciting. I won all sorts of prizes, including being able to take my father to a Mets game and having, really great seats, which we never had. So that was fun. At 12, I went to my father and I said, can you take me to the bank? It was on a Saturday. He said, sure. Why? I said, I want to take out a loan. He said, why would you want a loan? My parents were very risk adverse and very against lending and loans. And, they didn't have credit cards or anything like that. Never bought a car with on debt. That would be unheard of. So I asked him to take me to the bank. I told him I wanted to get a loan because I wanted to build a credit rating. He's looking at me like I have 2 heads. Well, I had read it somewhere about a credit rating. Well, I went to the bank. I put $200 into an account. I borrowed $200 against that. I paid it off over 6 months, put it back in, borrowed again against the next bank account. And I did that a number of times. When I was 16, I needed a credit card or wanted a credit card. I went out and got one. I didn't need anybody to co-sign because I had all these loans that I had taken out and paid it back on time. Very simple. When I wanted my first car, nobody had to co-sign. I had a credit rating. When I bought my first house, nobody had to co-sign or even consider it. I was totally fine on my own. Last story I'm going to tell you is that when I was in college, I had scholarships to pretty much anywhere I wanted to go to for lacrosse and football, but mainly lacrosse. Well, after the first year, I decided to go to school at night and work full-time during the day. And I learned that banks paid 80% of your college if you got a B or better. So I lied on my application and I got a job in a bank. And then I grew and grew and grew in the bank. Well, they're paying 80%. I was earning money, so I paid the other 20%. But there was a new thing that was coming out. This is the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And it was called student loans, just created. And I remember interest rates at the time were almost up to 20%. And student loans were 2% while you're in college and like 6 or 7% when you're out of college, that you have to start making payments. This is free money. Why wouldn't I take it? So I borrowed $5,000, not a lot of money, and I invested it in stocks. That enabled me to buy my first house while I was in college. Well, now I'm going to tell you, you know more about me than anybody on my team. So let's keep moving. We're going to get into some more serious stuff here. So leverage. Let's talk about leverage. Leverage is other people's money. And you've heard of OPM, other people's money. And it could be your family, your friends. You could borrow money from your parents, your friends, it could be from a bank. It could be from investments, but other people's money. And the general rule in leverage is to only use leverage when you're profitable. So think about what leverage really is. You're levering up your business. You're taking it really to another level. So if you're profitable and you're growing, now if you're using leverage, you should be able to be more profitable and grow faster. You're levering up that speed, that growth, that profit. The problem with leverage is if you're not making money, it's twice as worse. So you're going to go down that much faster. So think about it. A lot of places, in fact, most loans in this industry do not care if you make a profit or not. They're looking at your revenue. Amazon doesn't know if you make a profit, but they're making offers to you as far as how much money they'll lend to you, right? And the problem is a lot of sellers don't realize it's an ego boost. Wow, Amazon believes in me. They're offering to lend me money. You have to be careful, because if you're not profitable, you're going to be in big trouble very quickly, very quickly. We see it all the time. And Amazon doesn't care about that. They know that you have revenue coming in, and they're going to take that. Most of the lenders in this industry do what's called revenue loans, revenue-based loans, where you're paying a percentage of your revenue, not a percentage of your profit. You may be unprofitable, but they're going to make money. So be careful with revenue-based loans. Be careful if Amazon offers you $100,000 and you only need 20. Don't accept $100,000. So I'll give it to you in a simple way. Let's say it's a 12% loan and it's $100,000, but you only need 50,000. So 50,000 is going to go into growing your business, and the other 50,000 is going to sit in the bank account. Well, it's not doing you any good. So what did you just do? You just doubled your effective interest rate. So you went from 12% to 24%, because you're really borrowing and using $50,000, but you're paying as if you're using $100,000. So poor people look to pay, strive to pay off debt. Rich people, the thinking is using other people's money to grow your business and grow fast. All right, so here's a rhetorical question for you. This is very important. This is critical to the whole presentation and critical to the way you think about your business. Can you grow faster by leaving more money in your business or by taking more money out of your business? So I'll give you an example. Let's say you earn a profit of $10,000 a month every month for the next year. Every month you're earning $10,000 flat, but you end up taking that $10,000 out of your business and you use it to put gas in your boat and to pay for your daughter's ballet lessons and to go on vacations and eat out at all the best restaurants. Will your business grow? You know the answer, it won't. It'll probably recede a little bit. So you need to leave money in the business for it to grow. Just remember that. You need to leave money in your business to grow. I know it's logical. I know you get it, but a lot of people forget that key point. And we're going to come back to that because there's some important things we want to talk about here. All right. Do you plan on having a loan? And if you plan on having a loan, or if you already have a loan, and if growth is stymied by taking money out of your business, why would you take money out of your business every month to send it to a lender? Just think about it for a second. Does it make any sense? Is it good for you? Or is it good for the lender? Right? Oh, I know, it's always been done that way, right? Don, come on. I took out a loan. Of course, I have to make the payments. If I don't make the payments, my credit report's going to be destroyed a whole bit. It's always been done that way for thousands of years. And you're right. It's always been done that way. It reminds me of when I was first married. And this is pretty much a true story. My wife was making a ham dinner, and she cut off one side and she cut off the other side, and then she put it in the oven. I said, honey, why are you doing that? And she said, oh, it comes out great this way. And it did. It came out great. And she told me her mother taught her to do it this way. So a couple of weeks later, I was at my in-laws, and I said to my mother-in-law, Mom, when Joanne made the ham, she cut one side off, cut the other side off, then she put it in the oven. And it came out really good. But why did she said, you taught her. She goes, oh, yeah, it comes out great that way. And my mother taught me that. And her mother is straight off the boat from Italy. So I saw her about a month later. And, literally, she's barely speaks English at all at the time. Straight off the boat. And so I said, Grandma, Joanne made a ham dinner, and she cuts it off, one side off, cuts the other side off. Then she puts it in the oven. And Mom does the same thing. And it did come out great, but they said that you taught them. Why did you do that? And she said, I had a small oven. So sometimes, just because it's always been done that way is not the best answer. Maybe there's a better way of doing things. And hopefully I'm going to show you some better ways of doing things. All right. So I'm going to start with this success-based financing, which is what AccrueMe does. I want to teach you this. There's like 2 slides here, but because it's so different than anything you've ever seen. But if you take a step back and you just say, man, that makes sense. A lot of people have called us the rich uncle program, literally, because this is like if you went to your rich uncle, this is what you would ask for. Whether they give it to you or not is another story. But this is what the rich uncles would do. All right. So here's how AccrueMe makes money. We get a temporary profit share. All right. So we earn a little bit of the profit each month. And at a high level, how can we make that fair? How can we make that so that you can't lose? At a high level, you earn 100% of the profits on your money. So far, so good. And you earn half the profits on our money. So we give you the money to grow, and you let us earn a small part of the profits. If you have $20,000 of capital in your business that you're growing on, and let's say you have an ROI of 10%, on your own, you're going to earn $2,000, right? I mean, that's what you would earn. Now, let's say we match that money and we give you another $20,000. You're going to earn pretty much the same ROI. Call it 10%. Maybe you earn 20% today, whatever you earn, but call it 10%. So now instead of $2,000, there's $4,000 of profit. And what do you get? You're going to earn $3,000 of that. AccrueMe earns $1,000. So what did you just do? You just increased your profit and your ROI by 50%. And you didn't take out a loan. You didn't sign a personal guarantee. Nothing. All right. Pretty amazing. So your profit went up 50% from $2,000 to $3,000. And remember, now you earn $3,000. How much capital do you have in? $20,000. So you're earning $3,000 on $20,000 of capital. So went from a 10% ROI to a 15% ROI. It's almost like magic, really. It's amazing, but that's just the way the numbers work. That's magic. I mean, that's just the math. And here's the basics of AccrueMe. Whenever I show somebody this slide first, they always say the same thing. It sounds too good to be true. That's why I want to show you how we make money first. So this is all about growth. There's no interest. There's no fees. We don't want to have any fees because that's when people would say, oh, that's how you're going to get it. No, we're going to earn a share of the profits. If you don't make profits, we're not making profits. You do well, we do well. End of story. So no interest, no fees. There's no term. Use the money as long or as short as you want. So how does that work? It's like a line of credit. So we give you in that example $20,000, and next month you come back and you need $2,000 more. Great. Now you have $22,000. And now you come back the next month and say, wow, I'm flush with cash. I want to pay you guys down a bit, and just send us $3,000, $4,000, whatever it is. It comes down, and you can go back up and down. I'm slow these next few months. You pay us down, so we earn less. And then you're going into Q3 and Q4. You take out more money and grow the business when you have those opportunities to grow. That's what why there's no term. There's no monthly payments. This is big. This is unusual. This has never been done before. So, and when I say no monthly payments, if you want to make a payment, make a payment. But most people don't make payments every month. We had one client that did that, which is fine. We love it. Our very first client, remember, we're in business 4 years. Our very first client, who's still with us today, they didn't make a payment for 18 months. No, 19 months. Their 19th month, they made a payment. Think of that. Our investors on Wall Street at that point in time were saying, will anybody ever pay you? And we said, we think so. Well, actually, people pay us more than we'd like because they do so well. They grow so fast. They're flush with cash. It makes sense for them to send some to us and pay us down. No loss of equity. We don't own your business. You own your business 100%. People are shocked by that. No personal guarantee. All right. So any loan you get, you're signing personally, whether you know it or not. And that's it. That's how Accrumi works. We'll get into some more on all of this in a little bit. But first off, sometimes it is you. Sometimes it is you. So, this lady, she's an older woman, retired, and she asked her husband to go out to the grocery store to pick up food for dinner. And, he's been out a while, and she calls him on the phone in the car. And she says, honey, are you on the expressway driving home? And he says, yeah. And she goes, they just reported on the news that there's one car going the wrong way. And he goes, one car? There's hundreds of them. I can't see any of you, but I hope you're laughing. I hope you're at least giggling or smiling. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. All right. So Accrumi is all about growth. And the question is, are you? And I want to give you a statement that I've used in my career. It could be about growth. It could be about building your company. It could be about a lot of things. So let me give it to you. And I think it's something that you might actually want to write down. I want to grow like a man whose hair is on fire, searching for a pond. Think of that. Anything you're doing, I want to do it better than anybody else. I want to be so focused. I don't want to be halfway. Either I'm going to do it and do it all the way, or I'm not going to do it. In Star Wars, what did Yoda say? There is no try, just do, right? Either you do it or you're not. You're not trying, just do it. Same thing here. If you're going to grow your business, do it like a man whose hair is on fire, searching for a pond. You all know the scene from Home Alone with Joe Pesci. His hair goes on fire, right? The hat goes on fire. What's he going to do? Do you think anything will get in his way to run outside and put his head in the snow? Nothing will get in his way. Nothing. That's the way you build your business. Back to this. Don't forget that fear in the middle, that we all want to get to that other side. It's like a pendulum, right? If you keep the pendulum going really small, you're going to have comfort and a little bit of success. Everything is very nice. But if you want that big success, you got to swing that pendulum. You got to jump over. You got to go and take risks and go. It's the same thing with love. You have love over here, and you got to take the risk to get there. All right, let's keep moving on this. So I don't know if any of you have ever read The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a small book, but it's a great book. And basically, Babylon at the time was the epicenter of the world, like a New York City or Hong Kong or London, but it was the place. This is where the richest man in Babylon was interviewed. His name was Ankar, and they asked him, how did you become the richest man in Babylon? And he said, I earned gold, and then I helped my gold earn gold. So basically what he's saying is, I earned profits, right? Now in our lingo, I earned profits, and then I help my profits earn profits. How do you do that? Compounding profits. How do you do that? By not taking those profits out all the time. You have to take something out to live on, that's for sure. But the littlest possible is the best. And where Accrumi comes in is we don't take money out of your business. And remember, we don't require those monthly payments. So the money can stay in the business and grow. And that's how your profits can compound on your profits. You earn $10,000. It stays in the business. Now you have another $10,000 to grow from. You're looking for opportunities. If you have too much money in your business, what are you going to do? You're just going to sit there and just say, wow, I have a lot of money in the business. No, you're going to look around and find opportunities. You're going to find new products. You're going to work harder to find new products. You're going to figure it out. and you're going to grow your business like this. That's what you're going to do. That's just what we all do. So, and Accrue Me helps you with that, obviously, by not requiring monthly payments. And the way we look at things is combining our model and our money with your knowledge and hard work. That's how you end up really compounding profits. All right. So, this old man applies for a job. And do all my jokes have an old man in them? It seems that way. So an old man applies for a job, and the hiring manager says to him, in my 25 years of being a hiring manager, I've never seen such a good candidate. You're the best. I've never seen anybody better. She goes, but just tell me one thing that's not good. Tell me one negative. And he goes, I don't know. I might be too honest. And she goes, I don't think honesty is a negative. He goes, I don't give a shit what you think. If you didn't laugh at that, then there's a problem. All right. So some key concepts in finance. So let me dig into the first one. What is the most important factor when considering financing your growth? Is it the interest rate, the term, or the payment? Think about it. Now, I can't see a chat going on here or anything like that, but I'm asking each of you to think about that and to come up with an answer in your head. All right, you have the answer? Most people would say interest rate. After hearing me talk about payments, a lot of people then would say payment, but it's going to be term. Term is the most important thing. And why is that? Because term determines payment. Let's say you were taking out a mortgage for $500,000. And your monthly payment, it's over 30 years, your monthly payment is roughly $2,000. No problem. And let's say that's at 6%. And now the interest rate goes to 7%. So now your monthly payment, instead of $2,000, might be $2,100 or $2,150. Not going to make a big difference. But so that meaning the interest rate really didn't affect it that much, but the term does. So let's change the term to 6 months. So you're borrowing $500,000 for 6 months. Now your monthly payment is like $60,000 a month. Wait a minute, that changes everything. So the term determines your payment. So term is what I would say is most important because it determines your payment. Now, let's get to the next one here. All right, so this is a concept that most people have never thought of. Monthly payments are not just money coming out of your business, but they actually relate to lost profit. So if the calculation is very simple, monthly payment times your ROI equals a lost profit. So let's say you borrowed $100,000 from Amazon and your monthly payment is $12,000. You multiply that by your ROI of 10%, keeping it simple. That means you're losing $1,200 for that month and every month going forward. In profits, you're losing, all right? So think about it. If you had that $12,000 in your business, as we've been talking about, you would find a use for it. You would be putting it to work. You would find the products to build your business and be bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So you would earn that 10% on that $12,000. But now that you have to take the $12,000 out and send it to a lender, you can't earn that 10% on that. You just lost not just $12,000 in the business, but you lost $1,200 this month and every month going forward. Next month, you make another payment. Now you're losing $2,400 a month, every month going forward, and then $3,600 a month. Payments cost you a lot of profit. Another universal rule, with a loan, the capital invested declines each and every month. So it's like a stairway. It goes down every month. Think about it. Money, you're making monthly payments, so there's less money in your business to grow, right? I mean, just clear. With success-based, which is what Accrue Me is, it increases because we're not taking money out, so those profits stay in and the money goes up. So just so you could see it on a chart, the bottom line obviously is a loan, and you can see every month that payment comes out, there's less money in the business. And with Accrue Me, since we don't take the money out in payments, it stays in, you're able to keep growing your business. You actually can grow much faster than that. But if you just look at, like, let's just see, the 8 months, there's like $25,000, maybe $30,000. No, there's $25,000 left in the business on the loan. And on the top side with Accrue Me, there's almost $150,000. And look, you might not have made 10% every month. Maybe you didn't, maybe you made some payments along the way, whatever. But if you just let it go, you could see the difference. Which one do you think would grow faster? The one with $150,000 in it, or the one with an extra $25,000? I know it's obvious. I'm not asking you to answer that one. It's a little obvious. You need money to grow. And just think about it again. You might say, oh, I don't need that much money. But if you had it, and this is starting at 100, by the way, but if you had extra money in your business, you would find ways of using it to grow your business. It's just what we all do. And payback. What about payback with AccrueMe? I mean, if I'm sitting there, I'm saying, yeah, that all sounds good, but when do I actually pay it back? I owe the money, right? Yeah, you owe the money. So it's paid back when it's right for you and right for your business, not when it's right for us. We're not coming to you saying, hey, we need, $5,000 this month, like everybody else does, or 10,000. No, we're saying when it's right for you. So what does that mean? Think about it. In Q3 and Q4, when you have opportunities everywhere to grow, are you going to send any money to us? Really doubtful. Really doubtful. But let's say it's March and April. Now, in a typical business, not a business that's gearing up for the summer, right? But a typical business that does so much business in Q3 and Q4. Now it's March and April. Times are a little slower. Inventory levels are lower. What does that mean? That means cash in the bank is higher. What are you doing with cash in the bank? If you're not putting it into new opportunities, then it makes sense to make payments at that point, because that knocks us down and it knocks our profit share down. All right. And I'm not getting into details here, but that's the way it works. And I'll show you more as we go. So, paying us back, you pay it back when it's right for you, not when it's right for us. What about an exit? We have plenty of companies. We have companies that haven't paid us in over 2 years, but they're growing into an exit. They are growing rapidly. And if you just think about it, they're doubling and tripling and quadrupling the profit in their business and the size of their business. So if they're getting a 4 or a 5 or a 6 multiple, and let's just say it's on, $1 million in profit, how nice, right? So they're going to earn $4 or $5 million. Well, now let's say they could take our money. And with this model, they could take it from $1 million of profit, let's just say to $3 million of profit. So instead of getting 4 or 5 million, they're getting 12 or 15 million. A little bit different. It's a game changer. It's a life changer. If you sell, what we get is our investment plus our accrued profits. You keep 100% of the upside. It's all yours. We own nothing of the company. Okay, we're getting down to the end here. So the question is, can you grow faster by leaving money in your business or by taking it out? You know the answer. Compounding your profits is the key to growth. Use all your profits, which means all the profits, to grow your business, as opposed to taking some of your profits and sending them to a lender. Use everything you can to grow. And AccrueMe, you remember, we have no interest, no fees, no term, no payment, no personal guarantee, and no loss of equity. And finishing up, there's one more slide that I think is very important after this. Hopefully you enjoy. If you reach out to me on LinkedIn, that's terrific. It's Donald Henig. Again, I do communicate with anybody that reaches out to me. You can also go straight to AccrueMe.com. And if you go to AccrueMe.com, click on Get a Funding Offer. That's our application. It takes 2 to 3 minutes to fill it out. We ask no personal questions like your social security number or your date of birth or anything like that. We're not running credit reports or any of that. All we're looking at is your inventory. That's it. And it's easy. And with InventoryLab, we are doing something that's very never done in finance, ever. We're giving you 30 days for free. I hate to call it a 30-day free trial, but I guess it is. You borrow $20,000 from us, and in 30 days you give it back to us. You don't have to give us 1 penny more. If you stay on board with us, that first 30 days was free. It gets people comfortable, and I think just give it a shot. So let's move on to the final slide, and if there are any questions, we'll go from there. So, I always believe in trusting your gut, trusting your instincts. So his husband and wife are in bed, and it's 2:30 in the morning, and the doorbell rings. And the husband gets up and he gets dressed and he goes downstairs and he comes back up, and the wife says, who was it? And he goes, some drunk guy. He needed a push. And she goes, well, what'd you do? He goes, I told him, get the hell out of here. And she goes, honey, don't you remember just 3 months ago when we broke down and it was pouring rain and you knocked on that nice man's door and he got in his truck and he came out around and he used his jumper cables and jumped our car so we could get home? And now somebody knocks on our door and you can't help him? He goes, you're right. You're right. So he gets dressed and he goes outside and it's pitch black. Can't see anything. And he goes, hey, buddy, you still out here? And he goes, yeah. He goes, you still need a push? Yeah. He goes, where are you? I'm on the swing. Come on, I'm on the swing. So with that, please don't forget this slide. With a loan, you have less money in your business every month. With AccrueMe, we have more money in your business every month. We care about your profits, not about your revenue. We want you to grow and be profitable.